Hi there, friends and followers. So I've had 3 Tempo 1 amateur radios that have kind of been getting me down here. So I got these things to receive pretty well, but I can't get any of these to transmit. I did learn that there's a solid-state balance modulator in the later production models of these, which I do have one solid-state balance modulator. I don't have 2 of them. So, and one radio I have has the older tube style in it. Anyway. Here's a famous C55, and the problem with this thing is there's about 300 to 400 volts on this side of this thing coming from the 12BY7 driver, and here is the grid of the 2 sleep tubes for your finals, and if this 300 volts comes into here, it basically gets the grids to superconduct, and the tubes will smoke because they'll conduct and melt down. So that's a real problem. Plus I hear that if this back feeds into here, it eventually hits the power supply and blows it up, blows up the minus bias and blows everything up. So that's a bad thing. Anyway, here's the little critter right here. Here's the C55 Little Critter is right here, feeding into the finals. And I ordered, this is a 100 puff capacitor. I ordered a 3 kilovolt 100 puff from Amazon, so I'll put in those. Actually, a whole kit from Amazon that has these capacitors, so I'll put that in there. I still can't get any output from this thing, which is discouraging. So I did find somebody was butchering around this thing a little bit. This coil looked like the guy had a meltdown in here, whoever owned this thing. It just didn't go very well for that person, so I'll show you what you get when you buy these radios that are stray. So you can see this coil here has some smoke and some melting. So lucky for me, I have a few of these radios around. So I simply play one radio off the other, and I'll measure resistances in these coils and see if they're all copacetic. And sure enough, it's supposed to be a 1K resistor here, so I put that back in, and this coil is working at about 1 ohm of impedance on a VOM meter, so it seems like it's working. Anyway, the guy had some really crazy stuff in here. He had like instead of this resistor here, he had this guy in here, coil and resistor, which, who knows? It looks like it was also very low value, so I don't know. But this radio does not work now. And I backed out his changes, whoever that person was. And then he had these resistors in parallel with that were feeding this, and so those were, this is 1,000 ohms, and this is what looks like a lot more than 1,000. So I'm not sure what this guy's aim was, but I've been like trying to fix this radio for a while, and with that mod in here, it probably would have never worked. So at least now I got this part back to copacetic. I think the guy put this capacitor in here too. There is supposed to be a capacitor here, but I don't think it's that one, so not sure what people do in these things and why. Anyway, I read a whole forum on this radio, and there's a lot of, this is an old radio, it's like late 60s, early 70s. I guess this one with the solid state balance modulator is probably an early 70s radio, but it's one of the later runs of it. Anyway, people are also like taking these 6S, what are these things anyway? I don't know, they're sleep tubes. So people are taking those out and putting in 6146s. I think if I get one of these radios to work, I would do that. Also, it looks like you get RF out of here. I guess for a linear or something, you get some RF out of here. So I pulled the finals out of this thing, or no, I didn't yet, but pull the finals out. You can also pull this jack back here, and the finals will not light. So that's a cool thing. It takes the heaters off. And I should try and check for some RF out of here and see if anything reasonable is coming out of here. And if so, then jolly good. And then I know the 12BY7 is working, but I don't get any gain when you use the mic button here for driver. Once you peek it on the grid, and I can see a little bit on the SDR, I can't get any more drives. So yeah, and I got like 3 of these that are acting up. So I'm hoping that if I find the problem in one of these, it'll also be true in the other two, but I'm not sure. This one receives really well. It has no issues receiving. And I think one of these that I picked up, I just kind of threw all the tubes in there because I'm kind of just done, but one of these has the old-fashioned balanced modulator tube in it, and it basically would receive well, except 40 wouldn't work. And the other one receives well, but it doesn't transmit. So I got like 3 of these that won't transmit well. And then this radio, whoa, this radio here that I recently bought had like a smoked cover on it, so I'm not sure. Looks like the radio caught on fire or something. I don't know. You just never know what you get when people are messing with things. It sure is a challenge to fix it, but it's not real fun sometimes either. It takes too much time. All right, that's my video. I'm thinking about, because I use this radio to listen to people talk. When I'm working, I might just unclip this resistor, just clip it and let it receive. That way there's no danger. Again, I hear when this shorts out, it takes out the finals, it takes out the power supply, which is right there, and it makes your life miserable. So I might just take that thing out and wait for my capacitors from Amazon. Again, that's the famous C55, 100 puff, and there's also a C40, I hear, 200 puffer. Yeah, they're saying to replace that one too. I'm not sure what that one does when it shorts, but okay, well, it goes right to ground, so that can't be good for the power supply. Thanks for watching. Again, this is the old Yaesu Tempo 1/FT200. Take care. Have a nice day.